World of YouTube, Terrible Sight here with my thoughts and theories on this tragedy in Texas. Now, who knew we would end up having another school shooting with multiple kids dead, teacher, and I would have thought after Sandy Hook. Mind you, if you want to go back into my videos, I have a poem I wrote for the kids, teachers. I would love to dedicate that poem to this tragedy too. It's a parent's nightmare to be right. Just dropped my kids off, got home, got my coffee. And to think that, one day, some idiot kid could just go about ending up at the school with a gun and shooting. It's stressful, very stressful. But, if you don't get your kids to school and this and that, you got DCF or CPF or whatever child services out in your way come run their mouths while this world is becoming an instant, fear, instant, trauma. You can't think straight, think right. You're always on edge. And then this happens. The other guy, idiot happens. My first question is, before everybody starts, ban the guns, ban the guns. Right, it is the Second Amendment. We're allowed to bear our firearms. But the question is, why is a teenager, let alone the other dingbat, how are they getting a hold of these guns? Now, this kid, they said, he was approved to purchase these guns, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong. Or he was allowed to, get these guns. As far as I'm concerned, the only way I could see a teenager getting guns is off a black market. Which I like to know really, right, who runs the black market. Because I'll tell you, that black market is still out there running strong. But the government wants to ban guns and, ban our Second Amendment. But yet that black market lingers. Insane. Unbelievably insane. I can go on all day talking about gun laws and, it's only the truth. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. End of story. It's not the gun. It's not the gun say, hey, buy me. We will go shoot together. It's the person got this sick individual mind that I'm going to go kill someone today. They sit there. And then, you know what? Things that are missed in these type of cases. I honestly believe when I hear this stuff and all I hear about is this, and this. But honestly, I'm glad this kid's dead. But once again, what led him to this point? Now, I immediately looked up this kid to see if he had a page, but I'm sure it's frozen, maybe taken down already. But this comment came up and about Salvador Ramos. Didn't do this because he was white, he was Hispanic, he was a super narcissist, he was a transgender, he was an immigrant. He did this because guns are not banned in Texas. He didn't do this because guns are not banned in Texas. He did this because he is evil. And of course, I saved this. That's right. He didn't do this because lady says it right here. Perfect example. Now, I think the picture, yeah, there's a picture of the kid. Now, looking at this kid's face, picture says 1,000 words, and he does look lost in thought in this picture. He does look lost as a human being, but where I'm trying to get at with this, and I'll say this will include the other kid too, because that other kid out there that shot up the supermarket, I mean, there was one catchphrase that they found on this kid. Now, whether or not he was racist, and, everything's pushing around to where, right, he's racist, hey, so be it. But when you come out with the comment that first shooter came out with was white lives matter, you got to remember one thing. When something is pushed upon us, and then we get stuck listening to things in the world, I'm not trying to make up any excuse. I'm not trying to stick up for these two individuals. I'm just trying to say, like I just said in the last video, of the world being divided. And you think of this, these people, we are being pushed to hate one another. Organizations are being created to push more stuff into people's faces. And the best way I can explain this is, right, when you do this to people with dark, deep depression, let alone, all right, say racism, and it's getting all thrown into you from that man, that leader, politics, whatnot. This is where everybody said, I hate that, I hate you, I hate this, I hate everybody. I hate that color, I hate that race. But what are these two individuals, a perfect example? Now, the first one I want to say first off is Sandy Hook. And that kid, and it was said that the mother secluded him. You don't seclude any type of child or teen with mental health. You do not seclude them. You need to get them to socialize. I have my own children with mental health problems. And to see the pandemic come along, and right, they have friends, but they don't go hang with their friends. They'd rather be safe, tucked away. And fortunately, my kids wasn't brought up in a hate, racist world. There's no hate, there's no racist in my house. If there was hate and racist, let alone my kids could, get out with it. If that was the case, if it came down to that. I don't hate race, nobody. And, but to see types of mental health get stuck, pushed, put away, not properly treated or not properly raised, it's so sad, it's unfortunate, this is the outcome. And this kid looks like he secluded himself. He's an oddball. I mean, whatever he had, tucked away in his mind. If he was a transgender, if he was gay, whatever the case may be. Whatever his problems were, they weren't addressed to. And when they sit there and whatever they're raised to or whatever they're secluded with, of course, their mind goes in a spiral downward ingestion of chaos, insanity. So, if you could put that into perspective, you're gonna understand why this younger generation is going crazy, going mad. And the world is dividing. Because you got everybody cramming it down your throat. Who lives matter? Besides child molesters, women beaters, kid beaters, straight up stone cold killers, whatever the case may be, their lives don't matter, but everybody else all matter. All lives matter, except for the excluded, the pieces of crap that walk this earth. Racist people walk this earth. Man, go tuck yourself away and just shut your mouth and go praise your Lord God, whoever you do, and whatever you supremacists do. Keep it in your own world. Them are the ones that need to just stay the hell out of sight or be put on their own island, whatever comes first. Don't need this aggravation BS crap. And it's ridiculous. But as you can see, they still roam the earth. Child molesters, women beaters, child beaters. All these people get to roam the earth. Racist people roam the earth. For what? And right, now that we're being divided and more stuff's being pushed upon the people, whether it's from the media, whether it's from the government, you're really starting to, drive people mad. And that's how the divided country's becoming. That's how it's being formed. Hell, I think the COVID was set up. Some conspiracies to it, to why? Get rid of some of the living that just won't die. Sick to say, but it's a thought and it's a conspiracy theory in my eye. Oh, we got too many people here. Let's eliminate some to bring in new. Whatever the case may be. All I know is there's people like this, which I'm sick of looking at that face now because, although he is where he is and he's where he should be, still, what drove him to the insanity to do that? Kill his own grandmother. What was shoved in his face? What was he secluded to? Secluded from? Why did he get there? I mean, these are the questions I'd like answered. Not all. And then, you know what really gets me? Now, Ed Davis, the chief of operations here in Mass, he don't do it, the chief commissioner, whatever the hell he was. He said in a conference that, the first shooter or something was known, but with no evidence they couldn't move on him or something. Now, if he was known and he's over here and they got caught up with, that social media stuff, we know he's planning this stuff, he's saying this stuff. And I think they said this kid did the same thing. We the people, let alone the government, let alone law enforcement, if they see something like this, I think it's about time they start taking it seriously and apprehend before tragedy strikes. But that don't happen because there's not enough evidence. Well, if evidence of people saying crap on the internet and, I'm gonna do this and go on a rampage, even live stream the shit. What? Oh, man. But yet they can't do nothing. I mean, there should be new laws with gun control, that's for sure. And it's not banning the guns. There should be more, and I mean 100%, million times more mental health evaluations that go down when you go and get your gun license. I mean, there should be stuff. I got so many ideas I can't even go over them, but, This should be stuff that they should be sat down with this person, let alone sat down with a psychiatrist. So why you want a gun? And if this kid bought the friggin' gun and he was allowed to buy it, who sells to a teenager? 18 or whatever, how old he is. You know, kids like this should be questioned a little bit more. Not just, hey, here you go. Just because they got the money, poof, you got the gun. So I don't know how this sale went down with this kid. They're saying he bought it legally. What did they do, or what did this gun seller do? Right? Just hand them a gun, take the money, and that's that. Because if that's the question, and if that's the answer to the question, then right, someone didn't evaluate or did nothing, and there should be more done that way than just saying, hey, ban the guns. No, you just can't ban guns from the people who are the real sane people that, right, need the guns because they're not fighters and they don't want people on their property coming to kill them. I think the laws should go back to the old West where, hey, you want to stick your gun in my face, I can stick my gun back. And of course, the laws back then, don't get me wrong, very, stable laws of you kill a man, an innocent man in cold blood, then you die, you get hung. You use your gun of arms in an inappropriate way, you get killed. You die. That's it. There's no inappropriate way to use a gun unless your intentions are that way. And then, right, like the law said in the old days, you suffered a consequence too. You cannot kill innocent people in cold blood. Because if you try to, then you get shot. You get murdered or you get hung. Should go back to the old Western days where people can carry and, right, you want to kill me? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You're dead, I'm dead, whatever. Not tragedies like this that keep coming forth. And it just goes on and on and on. Not let alone the innocent children that have been being murdered because parents of these days don't want them kids. And then you got these idiots that just, for whatever reason, gonna go shoot up a school. And it's insane to even think that this, tragedy had to be repeated again from Sandy Hook. Divided country we are. People are being secluded away and coming up with, right, evil thoughts. People are being secluded away, being crammed down the throat of things that are existing in the world of today. And whoever's doing that is making this country hate each other, and we're all going on a killing spree. Now, this is not a white man. How about that? This is not white supremacist. I don't know if he's Spanish or Mexican. He's not white supremacist. So what drove him? Can you answer that? This is not a white supremacist thing like the other jackass. This is a whole different cultured little boy. And he just decided one day to get up and shoot a school. So how do you figure and how do you say that to this shooting? It was racist. It was a white supremacist. Divided is what's becoming of the world. And the other jackass, right, white lives matter. One of the comments out of his mouth, because he got crammed so much into the brain, I've guess to say of the Black Lives Matter, and right, insanity kicks in. Dividing the world kicks in. Whether or not he was racist, he still had that in his head that, we're being divided, and the only way he can deal with this is if he kills somebody. Whatever. This kid, though, is not supremacist. So what is really going on with the world? Answer that question, and I'll show you $100,000. Because this is not a white supremacist. This is a boy who's, I don't even know what our nationality is. I can't even say if he's Portuguese. But, if that is the very question I like to be answered. And the main topic right now is to be the divided country. Hell, who would ever thought, right? Look at Russia. Starting a whole goddamn war for what? Divided. Against their allies, against their half nationality, Ukraine. Divided. For what? Now everybody's just can't deal with the modern times. You don't get me wrong, sometimes I don't want to deal with these modern times. I'm old-fashioned. I grew up in an old-fashioned world. And to see how these times have changed, and right now we're in another, you might as well call it World War frickin' 3. Because eventually, Russia's going to get sick of us helping Ukraine, and we're going to turn the target on us. World War III. Back to the damn, you got Germany, you got Japan, now it'll be Russia. Why? Why? Unbelievable. And when you got idiots like this shooting up people because their minds have warped, their minds of seclusion, their minds of, how they're brought up of today. It's about to wonder why everything's getting shot up, everybody's turning against. Divided. It's a crazy world out there, folks. Be safe, take care, always beware. Oh, boy. Another tragedy like this happened, man. This draws everybody down to the ground. And right, who knows who's going to flip next? Who knows who's going to lose it next? Where you're going to be? Someone's had enough. Boom. And the gun laws, the only thing I got to say on that, there needs to be more mental health evaluations. There needs to be just something a bit more when someone walks into a store and says, hey, I want to buy a gun. That's the problem. The sales are too easy. It's not the gun that kills. It's the person that's going to purchase it. And what's their background? What's their history? Not a goddamn thing known. And remember, if someone has a say, I'll end it with this. A lot of people could have an alias name, more names than one, or let alone having 5 names in the same name. Julie, say Amy, Missy, Smith. 3-4 names they have within their one person. And you use one name, take one out, swap one out. What about that? Then you got a criminal background check that's not thoroughly done right. That could be a problem. Who's using miscellaneous names to get that gun to say, hey, I ain't got no criminal record. Let alone a mental health record. Let alone, just someone that comes off the street. Hey. But You ain't got the full name to check that person. A lot of things down the line that you could chop up and put in the salad. But if you don't know what you're preparing or giving or putting into that salad, you could be handing a friggin' goddamn insane, right, serial killer a gun. And that's it. On a killing spree. Up until the point until he's shot frickin' dead, but there's so many lives lost, so many, divided. That's it, one word, divided is coming. Everything's getting divided. We're divided from Russia now. Russia's divided themselves from Ukraine. Divided, and it just keeps going. Here, divided. Run that country. Divided. When's it gonna stop? When everything is united. Not divided. United. Maybe I'm just a crazy fool. Maybe I'm just some dumb idiot. But whatever the case may be, you gotta be united to stop the divided. That's all you can say, folks. And when will that happen? Who the hell knows? I don't know. It's getting bad out there, I know that. Y'all watch your backs in this divided world. Till then, see you on the next one. Out.